Hello and welcome to another video where I'll show you how you can use PowerPoint to design a lesson for your students without having to write down anything during the lesson, although the lesson requires you to do so. In this lecture, I'll share you a method that I use with my students when I want to deliver a lesson that requires me to show the students any steps that are followed without taking too long writing on the whiteboard or even using my graphics tablet inking the slides. This method is fast and as effective as any traditional method. I find this method particularly effective when I design any video lecture. First of all, I'll show you how it works. Then I'll show you how to design the slides themselves. Now over here, I have a PowerPoint slide in the slideshow of my PowerPoint. And let's imagine I have this question and I want the students to give me the solution to this question. After the students have worked out the solution in their books, and maybe I've marked a few of them, I might want to show them very quickly how the solution is obtained without having to write down anything on their whiteboard. And this is what I do. I'll simply go to my slideshow, click enter, and you can see the solution appears there. And then we will read the question together. And then I'll pose the question. What is the formula which links pressure, area, and force? Of course, that is the first equation. Pressure is equals to force over area. The next step is substitution. And of course, the final one is the answer as given there. You can see it has taken me a very short time to show them the steps that are followed. Equation, substitution, answer. And before I go to the next question, of course, I might want to show them how I award the marks. The first one goes to the formula, the second one to the correct substitution, and the final one, the magnitude of the pressure, of course, with the units. We don't need to go to the technical aspect of physics, but I want you to get the concept because you might want to replicate this in your subject area, which may be chemistry, biology, geography, or any other lesson that involves you giving a question and you delivering the steps to the answer, or a step or an answer just directly. For instance, if the question involves writing down a lot of text, like for example, state and explain factors affecting pressure exerted in solids. Over here, I want the students to state the factor and then explain the factors. When it comes to the solution, it is very easy because all I need to do is just a click. And sometimes I might want to read the question together so that I can be able to emphasize certain things in the question. I will have done this in the slides. And then now when it comes to giving these two factors, the first factor appears there and the explanation is given. And of course, the second factor and the explanation. I can now spend time showing them or outlining, emphasizing that the first factor is force, and then I explain what this means. Sometimes as teachers, we take a significant amount of our time writing down stuff on the whiteboard. Sometimes that may bore some students, and we find that sometimes it doesn't add much, although I wouldn't rule out the importance of writing down stuff on the whiteboard. But sometimes it takes too long and you find that the objectives of the lesson are lost. So I'd like that aspect of writing to take a very short amount of time so that you spend more time explaining the factors themselves. Even when it comes to awarding marks, I just need to click and show them this is how I was awarding the marks for the factor itself and the explanation, the factor and the explanation. How about if the question involves the students labeling a diagram? For instance, I might want the students to name the parts of these vernier calipers from part A to G. I just need to display that in the next slide. I just click and you can see all the parts are labeled. Now I want to quickly show you how you design these slides so that you end up achieving a lot in a given lesson without taking too much time writing down stuff on the whiteboard, or even when you are delivering your video lectures so that you don't take too much time inking your slides. So let's head over to PowerPoint, and then I'll show you from the start how you go about this. Let's go into the first slide here. You can see that this slide is complete. It's got the question and it's got a complete solution. In fact, I can go ahead and put the way I award marks here. I'll show you how I do that right now. If I want to ink and show them how I mark this particular section, I'll just go to slideshow and then current slide, click that. The moment I'm in slideshow and I've got the slide that I want to put marks, I'll come to this pencil here or pen. Then I'll go to pen and then I'll go to the color that I want. Of course, by default, it's red. And then on my graphics tablet, I hope you can see the small dot. This small dot here indicates the pen. So I go to the first equation here because this is where I award the first mark there. Then I also award second mark here and the last mark here. Remember, I am doing this when I'm preparing the lesson. I'm not doing it during the lesson when I'm delivering it to the students. I'm just preparing that final slide that I want the students to be able to see. And then I'll come here and end the slideshow. The moment I click end, you can see I'll be prompted to keep this kind of ink annotations. Of course, I want to keep it, so I'm going to click that, and my slide will have that inking. Remember, you can use that method to write with your hand. If you don't want to type these equations, you can write with your hand. Of course, it means you must have a means of doing that, and one of them is a graphics tablet. The first step is to prepare this complete slide. By that, I mean the way you want the final slide to look like. And it is this one here. Remember, you can see 4 slides here because there is one I wanted to show you how you do the calculation, how you do the text, how you label diagrams, and so forth. So I'm going to use this one so that you can replicate it in your area, whether you are dealing with the text, whether you are dealing with the calculations, labeling of diagram, or any other thing that you do with in your class. You can be able to replicate the methods that I'm going to share with you here. So that is the first step. You prepare a complete slide over here. Of course, when it comes to the type of slide that you use, right click on any of the slides. You have this menu here. When you come to the layout of the slide that you want to use, notice that the one I chose was the one with comparison because I want to write the question here and the solution here. But you can choose any other slide as you may wish. When it comes to this one, I think this slide that I use for the vernier calipers is the one where the layout is title and content. Although I removed the title, I could have as well as used a blank slide. So let's go back there because over here, I just want to show you how you can replicate this. I'm making an assumption here that you can be able to do all this. Forget about all this formatting because this is just personal style. You can use, you can format your letters, your words, your shapes the way you want. I'll be making a video on how you do this so that your slides appear very attractive to your students. But let's keep to the objective of this particular lecture. The objective is to show you how you can do the writing without actually writing. So, first step, we have already said, prepare a complete slide. And then come now to that particular slide. You're going to right click and then you will see duplicate slide here. The moment you click duplicate, a duplicate of that slide appears here. Let's say maybe you want to go through how many steps? You want to go through 4 steps. So you're going to have 4 duplicates. So you come to this one again, you duplicate it. You come to this one, you make another duplicate. You can see now I have 4 slides, all of them exactly the same. I come to the first one. In the first one, I just want the question only. So I'm going to erase any other thing that appears there. So I'll come here. Let me try to delete this. See, it goes. When I come to the inking, it remains, but it's very simple to get rid of it. All I'll do is to, I think by selecting the whole of that, you can see I'm able to have it selected, and then I click delete and it goes. I also want to get rid of this solution there. It has disappeared. And over here, maybe even this emphasis on the force of 200 newtons and all that, and I want everything to be in one color. So I'll go here and say everything is just as plain as that. Let's see how that slide looks like. Slideshow, current slide. That is the way the slide will look like. This is what your students are going to see before you click onto the next slide. So let's go back here. Now, what is the next step after this? After this, you might want to show that now you want to give the solution. You also might want to highlight this force. So I'm going to have 2 steps here. So the first thing is to get rid of any writing that I have inside here. I delete that. I come to the inking. I remove that too. Now the next one over here, the first thing I want, is that, okay, let me get rid of the inking because that one comes as the last point. The next step was to write down the equation. So I'm going to remove all this. From here, I'm going to remove this, delete that, and also delete that. So I write down the formula. The next step is to substitute into the formula. I think I need another duplicate. So I duplicate it. So I want to substitute into the formula. Of course, the inking, remember, it's not there. It always comes as the last step. So I remove that. The next one I remove is this. Then I come over here. Let me make another duplicate. Remember, in the previous one, I just substituted. In this one, I want this answer. Again, I remove the inking. So I'm left with this answer. And then finally, I show how the marks are awarded. Let's go to the slideshow and see what we have. Slideshow, current slide. Of course, it is the first slide. The moment I go to the next slide, there, the space for where I want to write down the solution. I've already explained all this. By the next click, when I press enter, the equation comes. Enter, substitution. Enter, answer. Enter, the way the marks are awarded. How long does that take? And you find that your students are able to see whatever you are discussing with them immediately appear over there. They are not interested in seeing you write, but they want to see what was the next step. Of course, when you are dealing with very young learners, the idea of writing is important. As a matter of fact, I would propose that you write all this with the hand. And then you go through the process of duplicating the slide and then erasing what you don't need from the next slide or the previous slide, as I've already shown you. And that is exactly what you would do or with a question that has a lot of text. I've shown you how to deal with a question that has calculations in it. When it comes to a question that has got a lot of text, that is what you do. The first step is that you create a complete slide all the way up to the end, what you want the students to be able to see, and then you come and duplicate it, and then start erasing certain parts progressively from the first slide all the way to the last slide. And of course, don't forget to run the slideshow before you go to class, because it is important for you to be able to rehearse what you want your students to be able to see. I hope you've been able to learn something important. If that is the case, and maybe this is your first time to this particular channel, please consider subscribing so that you get notified anytime I release a new video. And of course, don't forget to like and share this video so that your friends can also benefit from the same. Until next time, bye-bye.